Hi everyone, it's Erin from Book Things and Baubles, and today I wanted to talk to you about 6 things I wish I knew before purchasing a Glowforge. So the number one thing that came to mind for me when I was coming up with ideas for this video was I wish I would have known about the Glowforge subscription service. So on the app on Glowforge, where you go in and set up all of your prints, they have shapes in there, they have free images and designs that you can use in your prints, and then they have the text that you can put in your print as well. And all of that, I did not learn until later, is actually part of the Glowforge subscription service, which I don't even know what it's called aside from like a subscription thingy for like the design studio, I guess. And I thought, after watching, all the videos on YouTube of other people showing how you make things in Glowforge, I assumed that all of that came, with the Glowforge, like as part of what you were purchasing. I thought everything I was seeing would just come with the Glowforge. And you get 1 month of that subscription service for free after you get your Glowforge and get it all set up. But after that, if you want to keep all of those features, so that includes the shapes, the designs that you can use, and the text, and then the outlining, all of that. If you want to keep those features, then you have to pay a monthly subscription fee to keep it. And I was kind of mad when I first figured that out, because I think when you're first beginning with the Glowforge, there's a lot of things like a learning curve that goes into it. So it's really nice that, online that design studio is just like really easy to use. And I just assumed all of that would be mine to use forever since I bought this thousands of dollars machine, but that's not the case. So you get your first month free after you buy your Glowforge, and then after that, you'll get a message saying, do you want to sign up for the premium subscription service? And they kind of give you an ultimatum. It's like, 2 weeks or a week or something like that to decide. But to kind of pull you in and incentivize you to buy the subscription, after your free trial has ended, they'll offer you a percentage off. Some people online have said that they got offered like 50% off the subscription service. Mine was a little less than that. I think I got offered like 40% or 30% off or something like that. But I think the subscription service is something kind of outlandish. It's like $45 or $50 a month without that discount. So they want to incentivize you to buy it when they're giving you that cheap offer. So I don't know how I feel about it. I did end up purchasing the subscription service just because I'm still learning Inkscape, and I use the fonts quite a bit. I use the clip art pictures that they have in there quite a bit. And then I use the outline tool a lot. And I'm not good enough in Inkscape to make my own outline. So that's why I decided to buy the subscription service, but I wasn't like super happy to be paying $20 extra a month to use my machine, and use features that I thought would come with the machine and weren't part of this premium subscription service. So that's something I wish I would have known before I bought the Glowforge, so that one, I could have either become better versed in Inkscape before my Glowforge came, so that I could just do all of those features outside of the design space, so I didn't have to rely on that, or so I could have made a more informed decision about the total cost of the Glowforge, because it's an expensive machine. And then to be paying an extra, $240 for the whole year, $20 a month on top of that, just, feels a little gross to me. I don't know. I know that they have to support servers and they have to support, their engineers and design people who are upkeeping the design space. I understand that, but if you're paying this much money for a machine and they don't give you software so that you can, just print things from your computer, and it's internet-based, a cloud service thing, it just can feel like a little bit of a money grab. So that's what I'll say about that. Any of you who have Glowforges and decided either to buy the premium subscription or not, leave your reasons down below, because I'm really interested to hear what you all think about this. So that's the biggest thing that came to my mind when I was doing this video. But number 2 is the smoky smell. So everyone tells you, that the Glowforge will come with a smell, and that's totally true, but I feel like people downplayed it a lot online. When I first started cutting on my Glowforge, I thought something was wrong with the machine. I thought it must be leaking somewhere. I readjusted the hose in the back. I got an air filter, but the smell was just so much. And I feel like people online, in the videos I watched, would say that, yeah, there's a smell, but it's not that bad. It just vents out the window and it's not that bad. Or they bought the extra $250 filter for indoor use. And I guess that helps a lot, but then you have cartridges you have to replace. So I just filter mine out a basement window, and my basement just smells like a campfire now, now that I've been doing the Glowforge for 3 or 4 months. But it does come with strong smells. So I wish I would have been more aware of that so that I could have prepared more for that. I ended up buying some charcoal bamboo air filter things to help clear the smell out. But yeah, it's a laser, it cuts, it smokes, it's probably way smellier than you're gonna be expecting. So just keep that in mind. And then the number 3 thing I wished I knew when purchasing a Glowforge was how big of a learning curve it was gonna be. Like I said, on a lot of the online videos and tutorials, you see people are just using the design space, where it really is easy to come up with cuts, right? You can get a square in there, put some words on, and you have something. Or with that premium subscription service, you have access to free designs that you can print. So it is easy to print on the Glowforge. But if you really want to start making your own designs to print on the Glowforge, you have to learn Photoshop and other Photoshop-ish design programs. So the one that I use is Inkscape, and Inkscape, from what I understand, is like Photoshop, but it's free. And so that's what I choose to use. And it was a real learning curve to get comfortable in Inkscape and be able to start creating my own designs in there and not relying on design space or on other people. So just be aware that there is a big learning curve. So if I were you, before I even got my Glowforge, maybe in the 3 or 4 weeks you're waiting for it to ship after you've ordered it, start learning Inkscape, start learning Photoshop, start learning all of these skills that you're going to need. And then when your Glowforge arrives, you'll be so much better to just jump in and start printing on it. But it is a learning curve. So don't get too discouraged if you're not great at it at first or things aren't going the way you think they should. But there's more to printing on the Glowforge than just popping stuff in the machine. And it's harder than Glowforge makes it seem, and it's harder than people with design experience make it seem. But you can learn. And I was actually thinking of making my own tutorials on Inkscape and the features that I think are most useful to learn as a Glowforge owner and as someone creating your own designs. So I'll make a video on that sometime in the future, and I'll link it up here once it's all made. All right, and then the number 4 thing I wish I would have known before purchasing a Glowforge is the validity of a lot of the money claims that are out there with the Glowforge. So you'll find a lot of videos on YouTube about, how I made $10,000 in the first month with my Glowforge, or how I made, $4,000 in the first 3 months with my Glowforge. So you'll find a lot of people out there with these kind of money claims. And, I watched those videos and I was like, this is awesome. The machine's a lot of money, but I'll be able to recoup those losses pretty fast, it seems like. And so I think a lot of people purchase the Glowforge thinking and envisioning in their mind that, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to make a lot of money right off. But like any other business, it comes with risks. And just because someone else succeeded within the first month and made tons of money doesn't mean that you're going to. You need to have a good business plan before you start up with the Glowforge if you're planning to use it to make money. And you need to have a good niche in mind because the Glowforge market is fairly saturated. I mean, personal laser cutters are more prevalent than they were 5-10 years ago. And that's a good thing for us, right, as people who bought a Glowforge and print, because now we can have this in our home and use it. But the downside of that is that a lot of people are out there doing the same thing. So I think it's more prevalent and not as special as it used to be to have your own laser. So you really need to find a way to stand out and set yourself apart from the competition. And another thing I've kind of realized as I've been, dabbling in the Glowforge community, looking online at people's different shops and what's available, I've realized that a lot of people who are making these large figure numbers from their Glowforge, they're actually making it through selling SVG files, which are the files that you can print on the Glowforge and also on the Cricut. So a lot of these people making these big money claims aren't necessarily making all of that money just from selling products that they're printing from their Glowforge. They are making this money from the files that they are selling to other people to make on their Glowforge. So just keep that in mind as well. I don't want to discourage anybody, but it really seems like on Etsy especially, a lot of the money to be made with the Glowforge is from designing files. And also you find a lot of people on Etsy selling, the wood, acrylic, the tools that you need for the Glowforge. And that's also where people are making their money. So not only are we as Glowforge users creators on the Glowforge, but we're also a definite market of consumers with the Glowforge, if that makes sense, because we consume the raw materials that we put into the Glowforge, and then we consume the SVG files. And so that's something to keep in mind as well, is maybe how you can diversify your laser cutting business to be selling some SVG files. And there's a lot of YouTubers who are doing that, Glowforge YouTubers, who will show you a print they made and then link to their Etsy shop where you can buy that print if you want to make it yourself. So keep that in mind as well. The money claims, just because someone else had that success doesn't mean that you're going to, but just be smart about it. Start thinking of this as a business if you really want to make money from it, and just diversify, niche down, and hopefully you'll succeed. I won't promise success, but I'm rooting for you. And then number 5 is, I wish I understood just how addictive and time consuming the Glowforge can be. It's just super fun to come up with ideas for presents you want to give your family, or designs you want to make, signs you want to have, and be able to just have it in the blink of an eye almost, I have made birthday presents within 20 minutes of realizing, I need a birthday present for people. I really like quotes. I'm really big into inspirational quotes, and I've been able to make tons and tons of signs that I can hang up in my bedroom, down here in my workspace, just to inspire me throughout the day. Basically, it's really fun to be able to make anything you want whenever you want to make it, and take the ideas that are in your head and bring them to life. So the Glowforge is really great for that, and that's a reason why I'm super glad I bought it. But I wish I would have understood when I purchased it, like just how addictive and how fun that is to be able to do that. And then number 6 is I wish I would have known where to go to find free SVG files. So like I said before, a lot of people make money selling SVG files on Etsy, but there are places you can go to find free SVG files that you can use in your Glowforge. So one of these websites you can go to find free files to print is boxes.py. So I'll put that up here and I'll link it down in the description. But this site has basically free boxes that you can print on your laser cutter. They have Post-it note holders, which I've printed. I've got one here that you can see. So this file, the bottom part, not the words, I added those later. But the Post-it note holder, that was a free SVG file from this website. They have boxes with hinges. They have like snap together trays. They just have tons and tons and tons of free boxy like SVG prints that you can customize measurements and then download and then just throw them in to your Glowforge and print them out and assemble them, and it's super easy. And because they are free, you can also customize them, change them up, and that's something that you can sell. So that's a great site to find some free SVGs to print on your Glowforge. Another site that I use all the time is freesvgs.com. I'll also link that down below, but this is where I find a lot of like my clip art type SVGs. It's great for finding engravings. It's great for finding shapes to use like hearts and stars, and it's just great to type some things in there and see if they have what you need. And then there's some other sites that I went to find some free SVGs as well that I don't have on me, but I'll link some of them down below. But you can type in free SVG files and that will lead you to, some websites. Probably some of the places I've had the best luck finding free SVGs is actually on Cricut, like blogs for people who use Cricut. You can find a lot of cool free downloadable SVGs that have, holiday themes like for Christmas and Easter and Halloween and Thanksgiving. So I would definitely check those out as well because you can find some awesome things there too. So those are the 6 things I wish I knew before purchasing a Glowforge. If you have questions or thoughts, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you do have questions about the Glowforge or Inkscape or SVGs, leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. And maybe your question can be the topic for a video in the future. I do post these videos every single Wednesday, so if you are interested in Glowforge tips and tricks, please consider subscribing. And if you're interested in purchasing your own Glowforge, please consider using my link and my code down below. That gives you a discount on your Glowforge, and it also gives me credits, which really help me out. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.